Hello, welcome to my mini series. It is going to be an organizational behavior analysis of the movie Sing, and I'm going to go over all of the macro and micro factors, and those are including for macro, diversity, attitudes, emotions, and moods. Personality and values, perception and motivation. And then for the micro factors, it's going to be groups and teams, communications, leadership, power, conflict, and structures. I'm going to start with a brief introduction of the movie Sing. The movie Sing is a cute little kids movie about a whole bunch of different animals. They represent their own thing. I'll get to that. But there's gorillas, mice, elephants, all sorts of different animals, but they are human-like, and they all act and speak and talk like humans. And this universe, there's a koala, and he runs a theater, and he gets in a pinch. He's having a hard time with money and keeping business going good, and so he decides he wants to put on a competition where there's a small cash prize, just so that he can, market his business a little bit and get things going again. The issue therein lies when they are making the flyer for this show, because Mrs. Crawley, his assistant, had accidentally typed the wrong number for the cash prize. And then all of those flyers went out without approval because they flew out the window, and then somehow the entire city of animals manages to get these flyers. It's a huge audition process, and he doesn't tell anybody. The koala, his name is Buster, he does not tell anybody that the said cash prize doesn't exist, the massive one, because he didn't mean to put such a large number on the flyer, because that was a typo. So he has all of the city auditioning for this big show, and conflict arises from that, just because they're running the show based off a lie. And moving forward throughout the show, they show the challenges that he has with the contestants and getting them ready, and the contestants have for themselves, and eventually when everybody finds out that the prize money is fake and the theater ends up burning down, and it gets all crazy. But that's probably the briefest summary I can give. Everything does eventually work out in the end, but I want to deep dive into the management perspective of this movie and kind of go over those organizational behavior factors and look at it almost in a business situation. Sing is a great movie to analyze from a lot of different perspectives, but one very clear theme within the movie is diversity. The different species of the animals symbolize diversity in several ways. That could be race, ethnicity, physical traits, cultural backgrounds, and social identities. To look at some examples within this movie, we can look at Mina, the elephant. She represents shyness. And then next we could look at Johnny, the gorilla, and he represents breaking free from his family's patterns. The porcupine, Ash, she represents cognitive diversity of creativity and independence. And Rosita, the girl pig that performs, represents a busy parenting, balancing of responsibilities. The movie also shows diversity of skill sets. That includes musical style, physical abilities, and the different methods each character uses to perform. But there's also diversity of backgrounds as well. There's the business owner, Buster, his name is, and he's a koala. He is the business owner. Then there's Rosita, and she's a stay-at-home mom. She's a very busy one at that. Johnny He comes from a family who pressures him to follow the same path of crime. He doesn't agree with that lifestyle. Mina comes from a very optimistic, super outgoing and encouraging family, which you can see contrasts with her personality a little bit, being very shy and reserved. The movie also shows personality types, diversity of personality types. And like I was talking about with Mina, she's shy. Some are bold, confident, rebellious, family oriented. There's even some dishonesty and unfairness. And then there's also some more honorable and driven personalities. To look at some textbook vocabulary within the movie. While the movie doesn't explicitly state each of these, I dissected and gave examples for each of these. The first diversity factor with vocabulary I would like to discuss is surface level diversity. This would include the species, physical traits, and other visible characteristics. Then you have the next notch on the scale, and that's deep level diversity. That's values, personality, beliefs, motivations, and so on. Then there's ability, and that refers to like skills, capability of performing, and creativity. According to OpenStax 2023, the cognitive diversity hypothesis is acknowledging that there are various perspectives, problem-solving styles, knowledge bases, and ways of thinking. This is important because having a broader range of thinking, perspectives, and information leads to better performance. OpenStax also explains that cognitive diversity leads to less groupthink, which is some more vocabulary mentioned in our textbook as well. Some cognitive diversity throughout Sing can be seen with Mina's cautiousness, being a critical thinker. She has high emotional awareness and intelligence. With Johnny, it is seen as being creative, innovative, an improviser, and a problem solver. Ash is independent and artistic, and she's a non-conforming thinker. Rosita is more analytical and structured. She's good at multitasking and problem solving, and she's very high functioning. These are all features that coincide with her being a mom. Gunter, her partner, he is the male pig that performs. He is very energetic and bold and flamboyant. He's good at generating ideas. He's innovative, and he's also a risk taker. Then we have Mike, the mouse of the movie. He's competitive, he's self-interested, he's an opportunistic thinker. He's one of those characters that do have dishonest qualities. And the result of each of those cognitive diversity traits is a higher rate of innovation. Example of that would be Rosita's structure combined with Gunter's creativity and boldness, and that produces innovation. And then also you look at Ash's passion and Buster's inspirational and motivational leadership, and that produces some great innovation. And an example of how cognitive diversity reduces groupthink includes Ash not following standard music styles, Johnny not joining his family regardless of the pressure. Rosita, she defies the expectations of being a work-loaded mom, and she's able to find time for herself and to be creative as well.